Have you ever wondered why so many men over 60 suddenly lose their confidence, strength, and vitality without realizing it? What if I told you that a simple habit, or the lack of it, could double your risk of erectile dysfunction and silently chip away at your quality of life? In today's video, we're diving deep into the 4 essential care tips every man over 60 must know, not just to preserve sexual performance, but to protect your overall health, confidence, and happiness. This isn't about quick fixes or expensive treatments. These are practical, science-backed habits you can start right now to keep your body thriving. You'll learn why keeping your most sensitive organ active is as crucial as exercising your muscles, how proper hygiene can prevent serious health risks, and why something as seemingly small as avoiding sex with a semi-erect penis can save you from years of pain and frustration. But that's not all. We'll also explore how modern habits like excessive pornography use can silently destroy your ability to connect with yourself and your partner, and how reclaiming that connection can breathe new life into your relationship. Plus, stay with me until the end for 2 powerful bonus tips that most men have never heard of, tips that could be the missing link to maintaining your vitality, intimacy, and confidence for years to come. If you want to regain control over your health, feel more alive, and build stronger connections, this video is your roadmap. Don't miss it. If you are not subscribed, I recommend subscribing and activating the notification bell so you don't miss any videos. Your support means a lot to me, and if you enjoyed this video, you can help me continue spreading the valuable lessons by liking and sharing it. If this video resonates with you or opens your eyes to something important, please take a moment to type 1 in the comments. It's a small gesture that shows your support and lets me know this message matters to you. And if, for any reason, it doesn't speak to your needs or expectations, I genuinely welcome your honesty. Type 0 and let me know how I can improve. Your feedback helps shape the future of this channel and ensures I continue bringing you content that truly serves you. Now, let's begin with the very first, and often the most ignored, pillar of penis health after the age of 60, keeping it active. This might sound surprising, even uncomfortable to some, but the truth is powerful. Your penis is like any other vital part of your body. Just like your heart, your muscles, or even your memory, if you stop using it, you begin to lose it. This isn't just a metaphor, it's a biological reality. With age, circulation slows down, nerve sensitivity diminishes, and hormone levels shift. And when sexual activity or even simple stimulation stops altogether, the tissues can slowly atrophy, blood flow decreases, and emotional disconnection from your masculinity begins to settle in like a shadow. Staying active doesn't mean you must perform like you did in your 20s. It means staying connected, physically, emotionally, and mentally, with this deeply personal and powerful part of your identity. Whether it's through intimacy with your partner, self-exploration, or simply engaging in routines that promote blood flow and hormonal balance, this is about honoring your body and your manhood. Not with shame, not with silence, but with courage, curiosity, and care. Don't let aging convince you that this part of your life is behind you. The truth is, with the right attention, your vitality doesn't have to disappear. It can evolve into something richer, more meaningful, and deeply fulfilling. And it all starts with not neglecting what makes you feel alive, whole, and connected. 1. Keep it active or risk losing function. One of the most heartbreaking mistakes I witness time and time again among older men is this quiet surrender, this deeply ingrained belief that as they grow older, their sexual health is destined to wither away, and that nothing can be done to change it. It's a lie dressed up as acceptance, and it steals so much joy, confidence, and vitality from the lives of men who still have so much life left to live. The real tragedy isn't aging. No, aging is a natural, beautiful part of the human journey. The real tragedy is disuse. It's disconnection. It's the slow, silent giving up on one of the most intimate parts of yourself. Just like unused legs grow frail and unsteady, your penis, This intricate, vascular, emotionally significant part of your body will also begin to lose strength, sensitivity, and responsiveness if it's ignored. But this isn't just about sex. This is about circulation, about oxygenation, about keeping your tissues alive, vibrant, and alert. It's about honoring your body enough to keep the blood flowing where it matters, even when no one else is watching. I've sat across from men in their 70s, some even in their 80s, who looked at me with confusion, frustration, and sometimes even shame, asking why they suddenly felt disconnected from their own manhood. And in many cases, the answer was simple but profound. They had stopped engaging with their own bodies. Not intentionally, not out of laziness or indifference, but because life just got in the way. They forgot that regular erections, whether from intimacy, mindful self-stimulation, or the use of tools like a vacuum erection device, aren't merely about pleasure. They're about survival. They're the body's way of nourishing one of the smallest, most delicate arteries we have. They're a form of maintenance, a form of healing. When you make the conscious choice to keep your penis active, you're not just protecting your performance, you're preserving your sense of self. You're defending your confidence. You're strengthening the emotional intimacy between you and your partner. You're telling yourself and the world that you are still here, still powerful, still worthy of pleasure and connection. It's not just a medical act. It's a deeply personal act of self-love. And do you know what happens when men take this to heart? They return to my office months later with that quiet glow in their eyes, with a steadier gait, with that old spark flickering back to life. They say things like, "Doc, I feel like me again." And it's not because of some miracle pill. It's because they reconnected with their biology. They chose to reclaim what time and routine had quietly taken away. So, if you've drifted into neglect, if you've quietly stopped paying attention to your body's signals, please let today be the day you start over. You don't need to rush. You don't need to push. Just start gently. Start with intention. Encourage healthy blood flow. Wake up those sleeping nerves. Rebuild that sacred connection between mind and body, heart and desire. Because this is only the beginning. And as powerful as this practice is, there's a hidden danger lurking in plain sight that can sabotage all your efforts if you're not careful. It's something most men never even think about until it's too late. And that's what we're going to uncover next. If you've made it this far and something inside you is stirring, if you feel hope, if you feel inspired, if you're ready to reclaim your vitality, type a number 1 in the comments below to let me know you're stepping up. That you're choosing health. That you're choosing yourself. Now take a deep breath, stay with me, and get ready for one of the most overlooked yet essential steps in keeping your manhood alive and well. It might just change everything. 2. Prioritize hygiene. It's more than just cleanliness. I can't even count the number of times I've sat face to face with a man in his 60s or 70s, shoulders slumped, voice heavy, and heard him say something that breaks my heart every time. "Doc, no one ever told me this stuff mattered." And he's right. For generations, men have been raised to ignore the care of their most intimate parts, taught to believe that hygiene in that area begins and ends with a quick rinse, or worse, that it's somehow unmanly to even talk about it. The truth is, proper penile hygiene is not just about staying fresh or smelling good. It's about defending one of the most delicate, vulnerable, and often neglected parts of the male body from slow, silent, and preventable damage. You see, once you hit 60, the rules change. Your skin becomes thinner. Your immune system starts to lose some of its sharpness. Your body doesn't bounce back from irritation or infection the way it used to. And nowhere is that more dangerous than in the groin area. Why? Because a lazy, inconsistent approach to hygiene becomes more than just a bad habit. It becomes a hidden doorway to inflammation, painful infections, and yes, even cancer. I know it sounds alarming, and frankly it should. Poor hygiene is one of the leading causes of penile cancer in older men. That's not a scare tactic. It's a medical reality. When sweat, dead skin, and oils collect in the folds of skin, especially under the foreskin, they create the perfect storm. A warm, moist, dark environment that becomes a breeding ground for bacteria and fungus. In the beginning, it may just be a little redness, a small itch, a tiny irritation. Harmless, right? But left unchecked, these seemingly innocent symptoms can snowball into something far more dangerous, something that could change your life. But here's the good news. The solution is neither complicated nor expensive. It's simple. It's powerful. And it starts with one small act of care: daily cleansing. Using a gentle, fragrance-free soap like pure glycerin is key. This protects the sensitive skin, maintains the body's natural microbiome, and shields you from inflammation. But don't stop there. Always dry the area thoroughly after washing. Damp skin, especially in those folds, invites trouble. And if you're still enjoying a healthy sex life, first of all, good for you. But second, you need to be even more diligent. Always wash after intimacy. Why? Because the vaginal environment has a different pH. When it mixes with your own, it can disrupt the delicate balance your body depends on to stay healthy. And the effects of that shift may not be immediate. But slowly, silently, it can throw your body's defenses off track. When you prioritize this level of hygiene, something beautiful happens. Yes, you protect your health, but you also restore something just as important: your confidence. You walk taller. You feel more secure in your body. There's a quiet dignity in knowing you're clean, healthy, and cared for. It's a daily ritual of self-respect, one that shows in how you treat yourself and how you connect with others. But I need to be honest, there's a deeper issue still. Because even the most well-washed, well-maintained man can still make one critical mistake, a mistake most men don't even know they're making until it leads to something far more painful than they ever expected. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment 1 below to let me know that you are still here with me. 3. Avoid sex with a semi-erect penis. Protect it from internal injury. This right here is one of those painful truths that far too many men only learn when it's already too late, when the damage has quietly taken root, and the clock can't be turned back. I've had older men come into my office, eyes filled with worry, voices laced with embarrassment, asking about a bend they'd never noticed before. Others confess to a dull ache during intimacy, something they can't explain, something that crept in so slowly they weren't even sure when it began. And after a thorough evaluation, the cause is often traced back to something surprisingly common, yet rarely spoken about. Not in locker rooms, not at the doctor's office, not even among close friends. Having sex while only partially erect. You see, a penis that's not fully firm is in a delicate, almost fragile state. It's caught in a halfway place, neither soft nor truly hard. And in that vulnerable state, any force, especially the pressure that comes with penetration, can bend it just enough to cause what we in medicine call microtraumas. Now here's the thing. These aren't injuries, you see. You don't feel a sharp pain or hear a dramatic snap. These are invisible wounds, tiny tears deep within the tissue, silent injuries that go unnoticed in the moment. But over time, they accumulate. They leave behind scar tissue, and that scar tissue builds into something far more serious, something called Peyronie's disease. A condition that causes a noticeable, sometimes painful curvature of the penis. One that can make intimacy uncomfortable, and in severe cases, make it emotionally and physically devastating. And most men? They never saw it coming. Because the change isn't sudden. It creeps in like a thief in the night, stealing a little flexibility here, a little comfort there. One day, it's a slight curve. Next, there is difficulty with penetration. It's shame. It's fear. It's the kind of erosion that doesn't just affect the body. It chips away at a man's sense of identity, at his confidence, at his connection with his partner. And what makes this so tragic is that it's preventable. When you're over 60, your body doesn't heal like it used to. What might have been a minor strain at 30 can become a lingering wound now. That's why I tell every man I treat, slow down. Listen to your body. Don't rush intimacy just because you feel pressure to perform. Don't push forward if you're not fully ready. There's nothing unmanly about waiting. Choosing to pause and let your body catch up? That's not weakness, it's wisdom. And if you need a little help, there's no shame in that either. Lubrication isn't optional at this stage, it's essential. It protects you. It reduces friction, lowers the risk of strain, and makes the experience more comfortable and enjoyable for both you and your partner. Most importantly, open your mouth before your body does. Talk. Share what you're feeling. Ask what your partner needs. Real intimacy, the kind that nourishes the soul, comes not from performance, but from connection, compassion, and mutual care. Because after 60, intimacy should be less about proving something, and more about sharing something sacred. When you approach it gently, with awareness and respect, it becomes safer, deeper, more healing, and profoundly fulfilling. But even if you avoid this physical mistake, there's another hidden danger still lurking. A far more subtle threat. One that doesn't damage your body, but your mind. It's a habit that's quietly rewiring how you relate to desire, how you view yourself as a man, and how you show up in your most vulnerable moments. And that's where we're headed next. If you're still with me, and if this message is landing deep in your heart, drop a number 1 in the comments. Let me know that you're not just listening. Let me know you're showing up for yourself. Now let's move into point number 4. Because of this next insight? It could be the silent force chipping away at your confidence, and you deserve to know the truth. 4. Limit porn. Use a real rebuild connection. This may be a delicate subject, but it needs to be brought into the light, especially for men over 60, who often carry silent struggles behind a brave face. I can't tell you how many older men I've spoken with, kind, wise, respectable men, who've quietly admitted something they never expected would become part of their story. They're spending far more time watching adult content than they ever meant to, and most of them carry a quiet shame about it. They say things like, "It's easier this way," or "It helps me relax at the end of the day." But behind those words is often a hidden ache, a longing for connection that feels harder and harder to reach. What they often don't realize, and what breaks my heart, is that over time, this habit doesn't just remain a harmless outlet. It begins to erode the deeper parts of themselves. Their sexual health, their ability to feel emotionally present, and their connection with real, meaningful intimacy. As we grow older, our minds and bodies naturally change. The things that once stirred desire and closeness effortlessly may now require more time, more attention, more heart. But when a man repeatedly turns to pornography, his brain slowly rewires itself to seek artificial stimulation over authentic connection. It's subtle at first, but soon the brain starts associating arousal only with fantasy, often exaggerated, unrealistic fantasy, not with the touch of a real partner, not with the warmth of shared affection, not with love. And slowly, almost imperceptibly, that precious spark, the one that once lit up the bedroom with passion and tenderness, starts to dim. Not because the love is gone, not because your partner no longer matters, but because the brain has been taught to crave something louder, faster, more extreme. Something less human. And here's the saddest part. Most men don't even see it happening. They just wake up one day and feel different. It takes longer to feel aroused. Their body doesn't respond the way it used to. Being close to someone doesn't light the same fire. What was once effortless now feels distant, unfamiliar, and almost frustrating. I've seen this pattern repeat over and over again, men quietly grieving the loss of their desire, confused and unsure of why it slipped away. But here's the good news, and yes, there is hope. Tremendous hope. The healing begins not with shame, not with blame, but with awareness. When a man starts to cut back on pornography, even just a little, something powerful begins to shift. It's as if the fog lifts. Slowly, sensitivity returns. Not just in the body, but in the heart. You start to feel again. A soft touch means something. A real kiss awakens something deep. You begin to feel human again, connected, alive. Your imagination returns, not driven by artificial visuals but by emotion, by presence, by the moment. Confidence, the real kind, the kind that isn't based on performance but on authenticity, comes flooding back. And with it, the sense of self that so many thought they had lost forever. This isn't about quitting cold turkey. This isn't about guilt or labeling yourself. This is about freedom. It's about creating space in your mind and in your spirit to reconnect with your body, your partner, your soul. Especially after 60, when life demands a new kind of gentleness, this reconnection can be a deeply healing journey. You begin to realize that intimacy isn't just about what happens in the bedroom. It's about how deeply you can be present with someone. It's about how you look at them, how you touch them, how you show up emotionally. And that kind of intimacy? It doesn't fade with age, it deepens. But even if you've done the emotional work, even if you've learned to retrain your mind and shift your habits, there's still one often overlooked piece of the puzzle. A piece so essential, yet so underestimated. It's not just about what you do during the day. It's about how you rest at night. That's where true recovery begins. That's where healing settles in. And that's where our first bonus tip comes in, because the way you sleep can either reinforce everything you've reclaimed or quietly undo it. Bonus tip 1. Change how you sleep. It's easy to overlook the little things, especially the habits we've clung to for decades. They become so routine, so automatic, that we stop questioning whether they're helping us or quietly hurting us. But sometimes it's those small, invisible behaviors that do the most silent damage. And for many older men, one of the most underestimated culprits is something as ordinary as how they sleep. Over the years, I've had dozens of men in their 60s, 70s, even 80s come to me with concerns they don't quite know how to explain. "Doc," they say with a hesitant tone, "something doesn't feel right down there." They speak of discomfort, unusual sensitivity, even changes in shape or unexpected curvature in their penis, symptoms that seem to appear out of nowhere. And while many expect a complicated medical explanation, what we often discover is shockingly simple. Tight underwear. Yes, that's right. Something as seemingly harmless as sleeping in snug briefs or constricting boxers could be the quiet villain behind years of gradual, unnoticed damage. Now I get it. That probably sounds too trivial to take seriously at first. After all, what harm could a pair of underwear do? But what most men don't know is this. During the night, your body doesn't just rest. It repairs. And one of the ways your body naturally maintains the health of your penis is through spontaneous nocturnal erections. These aren't about lust or dreams. They're your body's way of preserving blood flow, elasticity, and tissue health. They're like internal workouts for your most delicate organ. But when you're sleeping with tight fabric compressing that area, squeezing, pressing, bending, you interrupt that natural process. Over time, that restriction can create microtraumas, small tears, repeated pressure. The body, trying to heal itself, forms scar tissue. And that scar tissue? That's what leads to painful erections, reduced flexibility, and in many cases, Peyronie's disease, an emotionally and physically painful condition that alters the very shape of your manhood. I'll never forget the expression on one man's face after I explained this. A mix of disbelief and regret. "All these years," he whispered, "and I thought it was just part of getting old." But here's the powerful truth. It's not just aging. Sometimes it's the little things, and sometimes they're fixable. If you are still watching this video and find these lessons useful, please comment too below to let me know that you are still here with me. Changing what you wear to bed, or choosing to wear nothing at all, can have a profound effect on your well-being. Let your body breathe. Let your skin feel the cool air. Let those nighttime erections serve their purpose without resistance. Sleep should be a time of freedom, not constriction. And once you remove that tension, something magical happens. Men sleep better. They toss and turn less. They wake up feeling lighter, less sore, and more rested. It's a form of self-respect most people never talk about, but it can quietly restore your health in ways you never expected. It's such a small change, but with such a massive ripple effect. And what's more, it reminds you that your health is in your hands. That even now, in this season of life, you can still make choices that protect, preserve, and renew your body. But don't stop there. Because even if you've fixed your sleeping habits, even if you've reconnected with your body and reclaimed your vitality, there's still one final piece of this puzzle. And it's a big one. Bigger than any product, any technique, any routine. This last tip isn't about what you wear. It's about how you live. It touches every part of you, your mind, your body, your energy, your drive. And when you get it right, everything else begins to fall into place. It's the cornerstone of lasting vitality and sexual wellness. And I promise, it's something every man over 60 deserves to understand. Bonus tip 2. Your lifestyle is the root of sexual health. I've said this to countless men over the years, men from all walks of life, from former athletes to quiet grandfathers, and I'll say it again now, with even more urgency. You cannot separate your sexual health from the rest of your life. It's all connected. Every thought, every habit, every breath you take, every meal you eat, every night you sleep or don't. And when you cross into your 60s, this truth becomes even more vital. It's no longer a side note. It becomes the foundation on which everything else rests. Your strength, your vitality, your ability to love and be loved, your sense of manhood. I've seen so many men, with pain in their eyes and desperation in their voices, who have tried everything. Pills, patches, pumps, exotic herbs, expensive treatments, chasing miracle cures like lifelines thrown in stormy water. But what breaks my heart is how often they overlook the most powerful, most accessible medicine of all, their daily habit. Not flashy, not fast, but real. Transformative. Life-giving. Because here's the biological truth no one talks about loudly enough. Your penis is a vascular organ. That means it's directly tied to your blood flow, your circulation. And the first signs of that system struggling often show up not in your chest or your brain, but right there in your manhood. When erections become softer, less frequent, or disappear altogether, it's not just about sex. It's your body whispering a warning. Pay attention. Something deeper is wrong. Erectile dysfunction, for many men, is the first red flag of underlying vascular issues. It's a whisper from your heart. It's your arteries telling you they're narrowing. It's your system saying, "Help me before I fail you elsewhere." It's not just frustrating, it's a life-saving signal. What causes it? It's rarely one thing. Often it's the slow buildup of years of tiny choices. A poor diet, too many processed foods, a sedentary lifestyle, that second drink every night, chronic stress, or decades of smoking. These things don't announce themselves all at once. They quietly chip away at your blood vessels. They shrink your potential while you're busy focusing on everything else. And before you know it, they steal not just your intimacy, but your joy, your energy, your connection to the person you used to be. But here's where I want to give you something priceless: hope. Because you can turn it around. You can restore your health. I've watched men in their 70s, even late 70s, completely transform their sexual health and their entire lives, not with surgery or magic pills, but with something much more sustainable: consistency. You don't need to be perfect. You don't need to run marathons or eat kale with every meal. You need to care, genuinely care, and commit to a handful of life-giving actions. Walk every day, even if it's just around the block. Get your heart pumping and your legs moving. Eat real food. Fresh greens, healthy fats like avocados or olive oil, clean proteins like salmon or lean chicken. Drink water. Stay hydrated so your blood can flow freely and feed your organs. Prioritize your sleep, deep, restful sleep that lets your body repair and rebuild. Breathe deeply, not shallow breaths while staring at a screen, but full, grounding breaths that reset your nervous system. Let go of toxic stress. Say no when you need to. Choose peace when you can. And above all, believe, yes, truly believe, that your body is still fighting for you. It just needs you to show up and fight alongside it. Because when you treat your lifestyle as medicine, you don't just feel a little better, you awaken. Your energy lifts. Your confidence returns. Your partner notices a glow in your eyes again. Intimacy stops feeling like pressure and starts feeling like pleasure. You stop shrinking in fear of getting older and start expanding into the possibility of this next chapter. And if you've made it this far, reading these words and feeling something stir in you, then I want to tell you from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Thank you for staying. Thank you for caring. Thank you for being willing to face something that most men run from. That takes real strength. That takes honor. That's a form of masculinity this world desperately needs. Honest, grounded, wise masculinity. And please remember this. Caring for your penis after 60 isn't about vanity. It's not about chasing youth. It's about honoring the part of you that still wants to connect, still wants to feel, still wants to be seen and held and known. It's about preserving your dignity, your vitality, and the sacred bond of real intimacy. Let's take a quiet moment to reflect on all that we've covered. You've learned that keeping it active isn't just about sex. It's about blood flow, oxygen, and preserving your very identity as a man. That hygiene is a quiet form of self-respect, preventing painful conditions that no man should have to endure. That avoiding sex with a semi-erect penis is not just a small suggestion, but a decision that could save you years of suffering. That cutting back on porn isn't about guilt. It's about taking your power back, reawakening real connection with yourself and others. You discovered how sleep matters more than we think, and how even something as small as wearing tight underwear to bed can create slow, painful damage that adds up over time. And above all, we uncovered the most important truth of all, that your lifestyle isn't just a backdrop. It's the main character. What you eat, how you move, how you think, how you rest, it all becomes the ground upon which your health stands or falls. If you haven't subscribed yet, I warmly invite you to do so now, and don't forget to tap the notification bell so you never miss another video that could truly make a difference in your life. Your support means more than words can express. If this video spoke to you, even in a small way, please consider liking it and sharing it with someone who might need these words too. Together, we can keep spreading wisdom, strength, and hope, one man, one heart, one story at a time.